Greetings and welcome. Today is January 18th, and we are in the influences right now of the Capricorn new moon. So here I am to do our new moon reading. Before I get started, just a little bit of information in regards to the Capricorn new moon. So Capricorn is an earth element. It is cardinal, meaning it has the energy to start initiating things and to get us going and starting. And so it's always interesting to have that as, kind of a theme when you're looking at new moons, because new moons are all about planting seeds and beginning and, looking at self-improvement, manifestation. There's also an interesting thing about the new moons, because they are kind of seen as, the sun and the moon being kind of in the same place, that there's a sense of darkness in there, right? So we all know that when the new moon is up, you can't see it. So there's this idea that I always love with new moons, of when you take a seed and you plant it in the dirt, right? Like it's in there, it's in the darkness, it's contained. There's no idea that you have of how well that seed is growing and how well it's germinating until it pops up, which is later on. And so new moons are always about kind of this stumbling around in the dark of going, I have this idea and this is something I want to do or I want to bring forward, and I have no idea what's going to happen with it. So there's a lot of trust, there's a lot of faith with the new moon, because it is a very beginning tentative step. And so this new moon, as I said, is Capricorn, which Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So there's a little bit of harshness to this moon, because the connections to Capricorn are all about discipline, responsibility, connecting to your traditions. But at the same time, there's this sense of ambition and hard work and creating this infrastructure to be able to support whatever it is, right? So you want to be able to create this infrastructure so when the seed pops out, it has something, strong and stable to allow it to keep growing healthy. And so that's kind of the energy that we're dealing with right now. And it's going to be, like as usual, it's going to be a 3-card reading for the moons. And so we're just going to shuffle the cards in to see what is the new moon bringing to us. And we will pick our cards. Right. So what I decided to do with this one, so the questions that I decided for this new moon reading is, the first one is, what new self-improvement practices can we initiate? Because as the new moon, it's all about creating something new, something different, something better, and you can be creating it from what you already have. And when we're looking at self-improvement, I'm looking at anything to do with ourselves, right? Like, what's a practice that we can do that can make me be more authentic, that can make me be more regulated, that can help me to be more authentic to who I am, and either, and as well as, how can I be more committed to my creative practices? How can I be more compassionate in my relationships? So the first card that we have here is the 8 of Cups. And the 8 of Cups is an interesting one, because what it's saying when we're looking at how can we improve ourselves right now, the 8 of Cups is saying one of the best ways that we can improve ourselves is to simply walk away from the things that aren't working, to trust that there's something else out there that we can move towards. Because what I love about this picture is that, so we see her from the back and she's moving off, and it almost seems like she's moving off into the ocean, but for all we know, the person could be behind her and she's walking off towards the beach, because we don't see anything else in front of her. She sees where she's going and she trusts where she's going. And that's what we need to do, right? We really need to be able to trust that wherever it is that we're going and what we're doing is what's going to make us I don't even want to say happier, but it's to put us in a place where we know ourselves more, right? When we're looking at self-improvement, it's a lot of times, and I guess self-improvement isn't really it's a self-development, it's a self-knowing is what we want to be able to work on as we have this nice energy of the January new moon. And so it's important for us to be able to really see ahead of us without worrying about what's behind us, because that's the other thing is she's not turning around, right? She's not doing the Lot's wife impression where she turns around, turns into a pillar of salt. She's basically just saying, I'm going in this direction. There's something over here that I want to see. And so I'm going to trust and I'm going to explore. And all of the colors around her, everything about her is really saying that, this is a good place. There's no, like, she's standing very upright. She's not slouched down. She's not showing fear. And so for us right now, what we need to be able to do is we need to have that same confidence to be able to initiate a practice that is just for us. We have to move towards a practice that is just for us and trust and have faith that we are worth it, that we are valuable enough, that we have the right to do this without worrying about what other people are saying, what other people are doing. Even if they don't see where we're going, even if they don't understand where we're going, that's not the point. The point is that we are moving in a direction that is what is calling us forward right now. And so having that faith and having that trust. The other thing that's really nice about the Eight of Cups is being a water card. There's no form, right? It's not to say I have to take this program and this program's going to guide me to where it is that I need to be. That's not how that works. It's about I'm going to trust in the flow. I'm going to trust in the pull. I'm going to allow myself to be guided down a path that has no form, which can be a little bit scary, but again, when you put that seed into the ground and you just walk away after doing everything you can, you just trust that it's going to grow. And so the same thing with our lovely lady going off on her adventure. We just trust that we're being guided in the right direction. The next one we have asks, what structures can we create to help support our goals, right? So if we're looking to improve ourselves, if we're looking to understand ourselves, then there's goals that we have that we're going to be able to recommit to. And because we're tapping into the energy of the new moon, we want to recommit in a way that is kind of interesting, because we just found out there's no structure to our path, but we can still create structure within an unstructured space. And so what we have here, interestingly enough, again, we have another cup card. So here we have the Four of Cups. And what we need to look at is we need to be able to create structures that are uncreated in a way, because one of the things about the Four of Cups that I always like is she's looking at these cups here, but there's a cup, she's looking at this cup that's over here, and she's not seeing the cups here that are around her. And so one of the things that's interesting about this is there's something else out there. There's some other way of doing it. And it's just about having the ability to figure out how to get there. Because maybe one of the things she's sitting there thinking is, I really want to go and get that cup, but there's a swan. And if you know swans, if you go within their territory or their space, they can be very, very aggressive. And so it's like going, okay, so I can't get over there. Or maybe she's trying to figure out, how did it get there? What's going on with this cup that's over there? Because she also has three. And so one of the things that's important about this card is to remember that, these three cups that she has, somebody might say, but why does she want another one? The thing is maybe those three cups were given to her. Maybe they're not the right cups for her. And this one that's over there that she has to kind of come up with an idea and a solution on how to get there, that's the whole purpose. So when we're looking at like the structures that we need to create structures that are ours, that we have gone through some kind of challenge, that we have had some kind of puzzle to solve, that we have had some kind of riddle that we've had to deal with, that we've earned our ability to know how that structure works and the value of it, right? Because the thing is if there's no value in that cup that she's looking at, then what's the point? And so it's very important for us to be able to really take the time to think about the structures that we have in our lives and really evaluate which ones work, which ones support us, and which ones we need to let go so that we can really start to create this new idea of the structures that we want to have to support us as we're working towards our goals. Because as I said, a lot of times, especially in the world that we live in, we are constantly being told by other people how to do this, how to do that. Here's the plan for this. Here's the path for that. And if you're anything like me, a lot of times it doesn't work. It doesn't work for me because I have to do things in a very unique way, in a very creative way. Sometimes they call it innovation. Sometimes they just call it bizarre. But whatever it is, it's something that I feel works for me. And that's what this is telling us, is that right now, whatever the goals are that you're working on, you have to be strong enough and creative enough to let go of the expected structures, the expected steps, to be able to figure out for yourself what's going to work. And what's going to work for you is the thing that you're going to have to really struggle and really be creative and non-linear in thinking and putting together. And so that's really kind of an important theme for right now, which is interesting considering that, you know, the Capricorn moon does have this sense of tradition to it. And then the last card that we have asks, how can we grow our ambition in a healthy way? Because the thing is ambition, I think, gets a bum rap in some ways. There's this thought that only arrogant people and people that are, you know, too big for their britches have ambition. But we all have ambition. There's ambition is just the desire to want to do something. And so when we get stuck, especially when you look at the state of the world right now, it gets very easy to just want to hide and to disappear and to not want to do anything. And so we want to look at how is it, especially, you know, like if we're in this process of moving in a new direction and going someplace different, and we're being challenged to find like new structures and new systems and new ways of building things and new ways of being things that are more fluid, that are more community based, that are more supportive, right? Because both of these are cup cards. That's all about the intuitive, creative community spaces that we're looking at. And now we want to be able to do this. And to do this, we have to know that we have the ambition, that we have the motivation, that we have the drive and the desire to do this. And here we have, I think it's a perfect card for ambition, because here you have the Six of Wands, which is all about victory, right? This is somebody who has such strong beliefs, such strong faith in themselves and their ability and their goals, that they've gone out, they've fought the battles, they've overcome the monsters, and they're coming back changed and victorious. Because that's the other big thing, right? When we're looking at all of this, this is a process of change, right? Like being able to step back and to walk away from whatever is going on, and have the faith that you're going on an adventure and that it's what's best for you, you know, like to rethink all the structures and to kind of buck society, right? Like these are all things that are very scary. They're very challenging. They can be very triggering, because that's the emotional realm, right? That's the fear realm. And so now we've got the Six of Wands coming in saying, but it's all worth it. It is all worth it. So all you have to do is have the faith and have the confidence and go on that journey, because you're going to come out of this. Like when you see that seed burst through the ground after you've planted it, you're going to be so ecstatic. You're going to be so filled with joy and admiration for yourself that it's going to really kind of shift how you are in the world. So there's our quick little new moon reading. I hope you enjoyed this and that it gives you some kind of guidance, some kind of clarity. If you're, you know, interested in having a reading for yourself, pop a comment down below, message me, and I will see you around the webs. Take care.